What's up, DC Nation? Welcome to the first video on Simon Spurrier's John Constantine Hellblazer series. Now, there's a series that started in 2019 and ended in 2020, a 12-issue series, and it was under the Sandman Universe imprint, and it's an amazing series, guys. Written by Simon Spurrier and drawn by Aaron Campbell, and the artwork shows some really cool imagery and conveys the story very well, and the writing by Simon Spurrier is just really good, alright? This is the best Hellblazer series in a long time, in my opinion, alright? And yeah, guys, this first story arc is called A Green and Pleasant Land, and we're going over part 1, issue number 1 today. So, if you guys are ready, let's dive into this issue. Now guys, we begin with this Haruspex, which by the way, a Haruspex is a religious official who interprets omens by looking into the entrails of a sacrificial animal, alright? Now this Haruspex sees a group of men walking through a park. They see lights and angels. They're in awe, but they don't have time to get away. The angels cut into their bodies. They begin lovingly to skin the men. Now, the Haruspex has seen the same scene multiple nights before. The angels go by a repeated cycle. Now, the Haruspex goes out of his room and tells his men, his young G's, to search for a serious player, a magician, that could deal with these angels. Now we switch to John Constantine at a bar. He is telling a joke. The people don't really like his joke though, they don't think he's funny. So they throw him out the door, and Constantine yells, "Humorless vankers!" Now, Constantine is outside, and he greets this woman, right? This woman is pretty much the doorman for this bar. Now, this woman says, "Landlord's a royalist," and Constantine on the ground says, yeah, you know the difference between a decent joke and a pair of giant veiny cocks? And that's when the woman says, the landlord can't I take a joke, I expect. Listen, I'm guessing you've been away a wee while. What was it, abroad? Jail? Now, Constantine says, as he smokes on a cigarette, "How'd you know?" And the woman responds, "'Cause it's 2019, and you're smoking cigs, and you picked a microbrewery full of hipsters to try out your off-color comedy." Now we see this boy, he comes by, tries to get in the bar, but he doesn't have an ID. Now this woman pretty much pushes him away and tells him to go, right? He's not allowed in. Now, Constantine says, that normal these days, is it? Female doorman? Actually, here's one. What do you call now the woman cuts him off and says, "What do you call a fuckwit who makes a joke about bouncers to a Glaswegian girl with scarred knuckles?" Now, Constantine smokes and says, "Points?" And the woman says, "Ask you this. We know why tough birds love Spartacus, 'cause he was hung like this." She puts out her hands, and she has her arms open like there's wings, right? Now, Constantine laughs just a little bit. Then the woman says, "Gotta pick your audience, pal. Bum a smoke, huh?" Now, Constantine says, "John." And the woman says, "Nats." I'll not fuck you, John." Now, John says, "What? What makes you?" And the woman says, "'Cause I know blokes like you. You collect folks. You come back from wherever and you're lonely, so you'll swagger about looking for bromance. And you'll fuck anything with the pulse, just to persuade yourself. You got a circle." Now, Constantine smokes on a cigarette and says, "That's, round of applause for the armchair psychology. But that's arsenic, love. I'm not lonely. I like being alone. I happen to be temporarily a bit, lacking acquaintances." Now, this one, this man comes by and says, "Constantine, you shit! I knew it was you! 15 years, you shower a piss!" Now, Constantine says, "Wait, Barry? Barry the traffic? Is that you?" Now, Barry says, "Just a little pox spell, you said. Revenge from all them Romanian tarts I sold to the brothels up north." His face is all disfigured and horrifying. Now he says, "You say you could exercise it. Easy. 5 grand, 15 years, John. It just gets worse." Now, Constantine laughs and says, "Barry, you look like a Mickey Bullock." Now, Barry gets out a knife. He goes to stab Constantine, but Nat elbows Barry in the face, knocks him to the ground. Now, Constantine says, "Thanks." And Nat says, "It's what I'm paid for." Now, Constantine says, "Look, I'm sort of trying to stay a bit off radar." So now Nat responds, "No coppers. Best piss off then, hadn't you?" I never saw ye, but leave the pack, and get some better jokes. Now, she swings her hand, and Constantine walks away saying, "You're a diamond, Nats." And Nat says, "If you say so, I'm still not gonna fuck you though." Now, that's when she looks up and says, "Now, you want to tell me what you meant by exercise, pal?" Now we shift and we see Constantine walking through the streets, and this man, this young G, is following him. He goes into this alleyway. The teenager follows him into the alleyway and shines his lights, right? He doesn't see Constantine. Now, Constantine behind him says, "Alright, Twinkle Toes, what's your game?" Now, the boy says, "Cricket, bruv." Now, so Constantine says, "What's that supposed to mean?" And that's when the man behind the boy behind him hits him with his bat, knocks Constantine out. Now, Constantine wakes up, and this man says, "Yeah, man, wake up, now up. You're active, bruv. You got work to do." And Constantine says, "Where am I?" And that's when the boy says, This, the ends, bruv. Boy's massive." And that's when we see this Haru Specs, the same man from the beginning of the issue. He says, "Peckham Rise, see the park, yeah? That's where we shine, bruv. You get me?" Now, Constantine says, "Actually, Chief, no, I don't get you. I don't speak fuckwitties. You're a what? Schoolboy gang looking for a grown-up to buy porn and alcohol pops?" And the Haru Spec says, "Common's hot, bruv. Madam, gone dead up. 6 lost. Dark. Shit. How we gonna sell what we got where we can't go, huh?" Now, Constantine says, right. I see where this is going. It's Bloody Rent a Wizard time. In it, I've been kidnapped to clear something spooky out of the park, so you knobheads can get back to selling crack. That about the size of it? What makes you think I'd do anything you ask?" Now, that's when the Haru Spec says, "Boys don't ask. You get me?" Now, you see this Haru Specs in full light. He has tattoos of animals all around him. And you see the animals that are good right beside him on the wall. Their entrails just hanging out. It's a very horrific image. Now, it's one of the boys that knocked out Constantine comes by. He says, "That's K-Mag, man. You respect or you bucked, boy." Now, Constantine says, "Bucked? God. Looks to me like Mr. K-Mag's got some spooky wookie of his own." Now, K-Mag says, "Different magic, bruv." He pulls out a tablet. Now, Constantine says, "That's how you found me. You know, you'd actually be halfway impressive if you hadn't set a pair of toddlers to come collect." Now, the boy says, "Young G's, loyal for the block, we diligent." And Constantine looks at the other boy, who hasn't spoken yet. Constantine says, "Uh-oh, I think that one's has stroke too. What about short stuff here? Can he speak English?" And that's when the other boy says, "That's ableist, man. Noah's mute." And Constantine says, "Sorry, didn't know." Now, K-Mag says, "Issa, done good. Saying you out a blood run, yeah?" And that's when Issa responds, "Boss, nah, it was us both. Me and Noah, we both deserve." Now, K-Mag swipes his hand and says, "Just you. Blood runs one man up. Allow it. Boys don't need no tongueless spesh backing on ops. You get me?" Now, Issa walks away and says, "Yes, boss. Sorry, Noah." Now, Constantine says, "Ta-da! Kiss my arse, Houdini. What's a fucking blood run?" Now, that's when K-Max says, "Initiation. Youth gets up to full G. Active member, yeah? He'll go lurk on Dulwich. That's Kennel Crew turf. Take a blades. Spill some juice." Now, Constantine gets up. He says, "Jesus, Web. You're using kids to hit the competition?" And K-Max says, "Not so simple. Boys are refuge. These youth, they hated. No future, no respect. Racist and notorious. And hipsters. This their manner now. And these boys get real. Come up men, any color, they brethren." Now, Constantine looks at the dead animals and says, "You're right. It's a complicated socio-dynamic issue. Not fair to oversimplify. And you can't spell exploitation if you're too dead to go to school. Still, ain't her a good reason why I'd help a evil fucking fuck like you." And that's when K-Max says, "Simple, bruv. The dead boy's hand, taste your pity, This white knight, deals basic. You muck in or the mute gets it. So we see K-Mac, he puts a gun to Noah's head. Noah is the boy who is mute, right? He's gonna kill him if Constantine does not go by K-Mac's rules, right? This Haruspect. So Constantine agrees. The Haruspect tells Constantine that angels have been killing people in a park every night. The Haruspect believes a greater evil is behind this. Constantine gets in a car, and Noah, the mute, drives to the park. Constantine gets out and hears singing nearby. It's a homeless man. He is singing. Noah stays by the car. Constantine goes and sits on a bench next to the homeless man. He tries to get information about the park, and he proceeds to say, "Hello." Now the homeless man says, "Oh, hello. Are you here to feed the squirrels?" And Constantine says, "Squirrels? Not exactly, mates. No, you live here, don't you?" And the homeless man says, "Oh yes, very holy place. Did you know we have angels here now?" And Constantine says, "I heard about them. You wouldn't know where they're coming from." And the homeless man says, From God, wouldn't you think?" And Constantine says, okay, abstractly, that's one. Now, that's when the homeless man stands up and says, "The countenance divine, reaching forward to purify this poisoned city. Look at it. Marks of weakness, marks of woe, the invisible worm that flies in the night. You know, you look like a holy man I knew once. Are you holy?" And Constantine says, "Just the usual. 5 in the head, 2 down below. Listen, don't you think killing Kitty is a bit overkill for a loving, bloody god?" Now the homeless man shouts, "Kitties? Oh dear me! The angels would never hurt a person. They cleanse the unclean." Now Constantine says, "Meaning?" And the homeless man responds, "You know, the godless in the dark. There's one behind you right now." We see Noah. He went away from the car and he was pretty much just listening to their conversation. And Constantine looks down and says, "Ah, shit." That's when we hear a crackhead nearby. He says, "Hey, Reed boys, you here?" And the homeless man says, "Ugh, and there's another." So, these crackheads in this forest, they usually get killed by pretty much these angels, right? Because they're unclean. Now, they see Noah and they think Noah has pretty much crack and stuff, right? So that's when Constantine pushes Noah back. Constantine says to Noah, "Leave it, Noah. He's just a mad old racist. This won't fix it. I told you to wait in the car." Now the homeless man walks away and says, "You want to see angels, holy man? Follow the sounds of singing." After the homeless man leaves, we see this crackhead. And he walks through the park. Now the Haruspect watches from his room and says, "It begins." Now the angels come out and eat into the man's stomach. The crackhead is too busy focusing on his own pain to realize he's being killed by angels. Constantine and Noah watch. Now the Haruspect is perplexed as the angels don't skin their prey this time. This situation is somehow different. Constantine stops Noah from helping. "Stop it. You can't help him. Can't fight something if you don't know what it's all about. You either watch him win or you don't." The angels put their seed in this man's stomach. What comes out of the man looks like fleas first, then total horrific monsters. Noah throws up by a tree. Constantine is astonished. The Haruspect sees that Constantine's presence has led to a different situation with the angels. The Haruspect gets a chance to see the evil behind these angels, the one that's causing this all. Too bad the Haruspect's omen is too unclear. Now we shift to this old, confident man with a cigarette in his mouth, somewhere in the city, with his servants. One of the servants go to talk to this old man. The servant says, "Good Lord, would you look at that? It normally takes me hours." And the old man responds, "Good for you, sir. Just, don't forget to rinse off afterwards, eh?" Now, the servant walks away naked with just a mask on. Now, the old man with a cigarette in his mouth says, "Wouldn't want you to ruin your suit, Prime Minister." Now, the old man gets by a wall and just starts singing about how Jerusalem has been building in satanic mills. He sings, and the sea can hear his music. And that's how we end chapter 1 of this Hellblazer run. So that was issue number 1 of Simon Spurrier's Hellblazer run, and it was really good, guys. I really enjoyed this issue, because just the fact of like a Haruspect, and he calls on John Constantine, or more or less like kidnaps him, and then Constantine has to work with this mute criminal in a way. to find out what's going on in this park, right? This park that has angels eating crackheads. It's a really interesting concept, and it gets even more interesting from here in the following issues. Now, this issue was more setup, but it was still really good. Constantine is really great in this issue. Simon Spurrier really knows how to write him. He knows Constantine's voice, right? And also, the introduction of the character named Nats she's really cool, actually. I liked her character in this issue. When she talks with Constantine outside the bar, she has charisma, she's very similar to Constantine, and she shows up multiple times in this run. She's actually a very important supporting cast member, but she has a good introduction here, and we actually have a good introduction of a couple characters here. The Haruspecs, Noah, the mute child, and, like I said, Nats, right? There's not a lot of characters in this issue, but the plot and the story is set up very well with the angels. If that doesn't get you intrigued, I don't know what will. Angels going in a park and eating crackheads and then causing monsters to spawn from them. It's just really crazy, and the visuals by Aaron Campbell look really good. Like the imagery of the angels showing up in the park and just grabbing on to this man, right? This crackhead, and then you see the monsters come out of his skin. It's very horrific, but it fits this comic so well. It fits the Hellblazer style, and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed this comic a lot. It got me hooked, and if it got you hooked as well, stay tuned, because I'm going to be releasing more videos on this series. Now, this first arc only has 3 issues, right? It's a 3-issue arc, and it's about these angels and the Haruspeck, and then we go into separate arcs, and then by the end of this 12-issue run, everything comes full circle. So if you stay tuned, guys, you should be ready for a really awesome continuing story here, right? And the big thing about this issue that makes it great is it shows that Simon Spurrier knows John Constantine as a character. And that's good. Like, if you're gonna write a Hellblazer series, you need to know the lead character. And John Constantine is established and written perfectly here. And that's why I'm gonna give this first issue a 9 out of 10. I definitely recommend it. Go pick it up at your local comic shop or buy it digitally. Just get your hands on it, right? Because it's a really enjoyable read. I really enjoyed it, and I hope you did as well. But guys, if you like the video, give a big thumbs up. New to the channel, make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on my next Hellblazer video. I know a lot of you guys have been wanting Hellblazer videos for a while, and I haven't got the time to do it, but now I'm trying to fit into the schedule just for you guys. So please support and keep coming back, alright? But yeah, guys, thanks for watching, and peace out.